What a pleasure to be back. To all of those who are joining us for the first time, welcome. To all of those who are joining again, welcome back. What if you could get really good at pitching? What's one of the keys to getting really good at pitching? Practice, 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 and practice. And that is what tonight is all about. I'm Philip Grother, and you are joining us live if you're watching at the moment, and hello from the future if you're watching this in replay, either on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Test My Pitch is actually all about practicing getting really good at speaking in public, practicing delivering a message, practicing being eloquent, being able to speak in front of people. And joining me this evening, I have the pleasure of having three fantastic jury members that we're going to let into the stream straight away. We have Maria, Virginia, and Mathieu. Good evening to you all. Thank you very much for joining me. And we're going to start with ladies first. How about we have a short introduction from you, Maria?
Well, Philip, thank you very much for inviting me to be part of Test My Pitch. It's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to join this moment. For those that don't know me, I am Maria Lucia Romero. I'm coming from Colombia, living in Luxembourg right now. I've been working in marketing and branding over the last 20 years, and have been developing a methodology to help my clients grow and have the overview of all this marketing strategy and branding. I have been running now a podcast too, and people that wanted to be identified with women empowerment. I'm running brilliantly branded podcast right now. So this is what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us, Virginia.
Thank you.
Hello, Philip. So, my name is Virginia Anderson, and I have been working in learning and development training in corporates for many, many years, and have trained many people on presentation skills. I have also been a part of Toastmasters, which is an international organization focusing on speaking presentations. And I've been there for about 10 years and have been giving feedback to people on how they present for that period. I have my own company now, and I have been coaching, training, doing consultancy, and working with all different types of clients who want to be inspired. So I'm quite happy to be here. Thank you so much, and I think it'll be a great experience to support your pitchers.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, the fellow gentleman, Mathieu.
Yes. Okay. So hello, everyone. Thank you, Philip, for inviting me to be part of this Test My Pitch. I'm very excited. Actually, I'm usually on the other side. I'm pitching a lot these months for a few years. So my name is Mathieu. I am focusing and working in sales for over 10 years. Today, I'm co-founder and CEO of a startup or scale-up in Luxembourg called Machinery Scanner. I'm very excited to look forward to those coming pitches, and I always wanted to share knowledge, or at least to give my motivation to all the professionals who are willing to learn. So I'm very, very happy to be here and look forward to those pitches.
You're very, very welcome. And it's my turn to thank you all for taking your very valuable time. And without any further ado, I might as well explain how this evening is going to go. We're going to have normally 3 startups. We've already got 2 in the starting blocks. So we're going to hear the startups who are going to have up to 10 minutes to pitch. And when I say up to 10 minutes, their pitch could be 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. If they want. And then the remaining time is going to be taken for us collectively to give them feedback. Now, the point of this feedback is really so that we can help them build a more impactful pitch. And your different perspectives are going to help them understand what impact they're having on different people who have got different backgrounds, and this is just obviously in the jury. For those of you who are listening and discovering the concept for the first time, the point here is not to put the startups down. The point here is for everybody, and us included, by the way, to learn and learn from each other. It's a safe space. We create this environment so that we can all learn collectively, because at Test My Pitch, we very much believe in the active learning, active listening, and certainly creating an environment of trust and co-creation. So again, to my fellow jury members, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to take you off the stream, but don't leave, okay? I will be back. Well, actually, you will be back. So our first pitch this evening is actually going to be raising funds, and we're going to hear all about his pitch. Pasquale.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for joining us. So you know the rules. What's going to happen is that I'm going to share your screen, and then as soon as you're ready, I'm going to take myself off the feed, and you're going to have up to 10 minutes to pitch. I will start the timer. Now, the little rule is that if you see me arrive and you haven't finished pitching yet, it means that you have got 1 minute left. I will come into the feed at 1 minute before the end. So if you see me, you know that it's time to start wrapping up. And we have got your pitch ready. And as soon as I take myself off the feed, you can start. I will start the timer, and we will see you shortly.
I'm ready. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Pasquale, and I'm the co-founder of MyWash. We make laundry quick and easy for both laundry owners and their customers. Laundry owners. Laundry owners spend too much time handling customers and garments rather than making money processing more orders. This happens because operation and work processes nowadays in laundries are managed manually and on paper. Owners lose almost 40% of their day in phone calls, reminding customers to pick up their garments from the shop. And this causes the work backlogs and delay in delivering. Moreover, owners who try to solve this problem cannot find suitable software solutions because those are expensive and complex solutions to use for them. On the other end, we have laundry customers. Laundry customers, we are all laundry customers, and you know that it is lacking an easy way to have your garments cleaned, easily collected from the shop, or delivered to your doorstep or to your office. Going to laundry shops, in fact, takes too much time. You have to go there to drop off your dirty garments and go back second time to pick them up cleaned. And in addition, you have a paper receipt for collecting your clothes. And if you lose the paper receipt, you probably will forget your garments at the laundry shop. Third problem is that actually nowadays it does not exist an easy way to conveniently book laundry services, as there is for all types of laundry of services nowadays. You can in fact book your pizza, you can in fact book your doctor, but this is not possible at all with laundry services. MyWash is the web and mobile app that simplifies laundry management for both laundry owners and their customers through accessible and user-friendly technology. Laundry owners can finally save time, spending less hours in manual tasks and phone calls, make more money, delivering more orders in less time, and grow faster, attracting more customers thanks to our convenient, fast, and more secure service. Laundry customer can experience a more convenient, fast, and secure service from their preferred laundry. So how do we do that? By offering basically three main blocks. Management software, which is cloud-based and serves to digitalize tasks, customer, order, and workflow management in the laundry shop. QR code technology that automates garments tracking, delivery process, and customer notifications. And a mobile app that allows laundry customers to book, pay, track, and collect their garments easily and conveniently. So how do we earn money? We charge laundry owners an average subscription fee of 690 euros per year for the use of our laundry management software. We have basically 4 different packages, and those packages will go in bundle with a mobile app, which will serve them to manage bookings, pickups, and deliveries with their clients. The market is based in European market. We concentrate in Europe, and we are targeting laundry, tailoring, and repair services activities, a market consisting of 1.8 million companies operating in Europe, representing a value of 1.2 billion, and calculation is bottom up. Our serviceable available market consists of 230,000 laundries and dry cleaners based in Europe, which worth 158 million euros. Out of these markets, we plan to acquire 4.5k Italian laundries and dry cleaners and reach 3.1 million euros in revenue by the end of 2025. We will concentrate, as said, on Italy. Currently, we're focusing on targeting 30,000 owners of laundry, dry cleaners, laundromats, and industrial laundries. They need to optimize production efficiency, reduce delivery times, and improve customer service. So Wash in the market, compared to other existing solutions, MyWash is the most innovative, convenient, and accessible laundry management software. The only one which is incredibly easy to use, offering a superior customer support in local language and a free mobile application that enhances customer service, enable pickups and deliveries. Our go-to-market strategy involves the activation of 3 partnerships with local distributors in the laundry industry, inbound marketing initiatives, and paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, with the final goal of generating awareness among 1.6 million targeted contacts, activating 2,000 free trials to eventually convert 138 customers, users, by the end of 2023, with the final goal in terms of sales to reach 58,000 euros by the end of this year. Our growth strategy executes on 3 main pillars. First one, marketing and sales. To generate demand and acquire new customers, we planned inbound marketing initiatives, SEO, social media ads on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, strategic partnerships with suppliers and distributors, and a referral program to stimulate word of mouth. Of course, it cannot miss direct sales and presence at the main industry events. Second pillar is the customer support. To keep our customers happy, we provide free customer support in local language, different from our competitors, interactive product tour and chatbot inside the product, and Facebook community for laundry owners and operators to share their needs and their suggestions in terms of product usage. Third pillar, mainly maybe the most important, the product development, platform development. To stay competitive, we plan to continuously improve our platform based on customer feedback. We are currently building our product with our customers, and we plan to release 3 more packages, one specifically suited for laundromats. Second one, MyWash Plus, is offering marketing and e-billing functionalities. And third one is MyWash Pro, with pickup and delivery platform for laundries. Traction, we have just started. We launched our beta version in April. And so far we have 12 active free trials, 3 paying customers, and 2 partnerships with distributors. Our cost of acquisition, our customer acquisition, is around 77 euros while the customer lifetime value is 359 euros, approximately 4.6 times the customer acquisition cost. Payback time for customers to cover the acquisition cost is approximately 2.5 months. Our funding team has the right vision and skills to succeed. I personally have previous experience as a founder. I successfully launched and managed a software house in Luxembourg. And plus, I have 15 years experience in digital marketing, strategic branding, and business development. I lead marketing and business development at MyWash. Second partner is Stefano. He brings over 12 years of expertise in control system engineer, product development, testing, and quality control. Inspired by his family laundry business, Stefano's entrepreneurial spirit led him to conceive the first idea of MyWash. Stefano oversees all aspects of product lifecycle, ensuring that our solution addresses exactly the needs of the laundry business. Massimo, our third partner, is a highly experienced leader in the sales and industrial machinery in the laundry industry, with over 30 years of expertise in the Italian market. At MyWash, he plays a crucial role in managing sales, customer support, and distributor partners. We have bootstrapped our MVP, and the first 12 months of operation so far, we are now seeking 200,000 euros in seed capital, which will be used to scale customer acquisition, to scale customer service, and to scale our infrastructure, with the final goal to achieve 1,696 customers and 955,000 euros in.
And that is a wrap. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
It's 10 minutes on the dot.
Okay, I stop it. It was
Yes. This will be part of the feedback, as you can very well imagine. Very good. And I'm going to let our jury back in. Virginia, would you like to start?
I would be happy to.
Lovely.
Pascal, you caught my attention. So beginning of the pitch, I could really relate to you, and with the visuals, as a person who uses laundromats and has fear when I see them writing the papers down and hoping that they're going to not lose my clothes. So I can really connect with that, which I think is great, because in the beginning, that's the most important, is that you can really, get my attention, and to get also the laundromat's attention. I find your delivery is strong, and I can hear you're not an English mother tongue speaker like myself, but your delivery you're very clear. So I think it's important for me to iterate. A couple suggestions is when you're talking about your pillars, the delivery sometimes is a bit fast. So my suggestion would be, when you talk about the pictures, the pillars, I can't even say it myself, pause a bit. So pause in between, so people can breathe a bit, and yourself, you can breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
And it will really help the delivery. Just a quick word. Be careful when you say incredible easy. It's incredibly easy.
It's incredibly easy. Yeah.
It's incredibly easy. So I find your pitch is clear. It catches my attention, and it really makes me think we need this across the world. And I appreciate the financials, and I can actually feel it and understand it. So if I was a potential investor, I know where I stand.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Very good. Right. Mathieu or Maria?
We can say women first.
Well, we're all about equality nowadays,
I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. Well, Pasquale, thank you very much for the pitch. It's something very nice to hear all the business concept behind that. I have just some suggestions related with the way that you are presenting, because I felt, I don't know if it was just my impression at the beginning, especially that you was reading the slide. So reading the slide for me, it was a bit like something to improve in order that you know perfectly well your business. So you really don't need to read that in order to build the pitch up. The other important thing in terms of presentation like that is I will reduce the amount of information in each of these slides in order to make this more impactful. Because people end up reading what is there and not paying attention on what you said. So doing these two things at the same time make me feel distracted. Make me lose a bit the point in your pitch. That was very interesting. And the other thing, just to build up on that, is I love when I found stories behind. So if you tell a story that tell how your customer is giving to acquire the services, even I didn't get very clear if your customer is B2C or B2B, if you are saying, or your software is for the owners of the dry cleanings, or is for the end users.
Yeah,
But
we said to laundry owner.
Pasquale, we'll have a conversation afterwards. No, not a problem. Just write your questions down and then we'll come back to them afterwards.
But the point is that, you have just a short period of time in order to convince, even if you are going to convince investors that are going to be worried about what is the traction. So your slide about the traction was not enough clear for me because I have a lot of information there. So make this more impactful, more clear, and more directly to the point, and never read is my recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much for your feedback.
Very good. Mathieu.
Yeah. So Pasquale, thank you very much for the presentation. I know it's not easy to give a pitch. It's a 10-minute pitch, so maybe that's why you had to read a bit the note that you had. But yeah, as Maria said, is the best is that you don't read and you try to put emotion when you speak with a good intonation and pause so people understand exactly what you mean. Like Virginia said, the slides were good. I really like the beginning from the first slide. You wrote the target, then what is the problem. Then you mentioned that it's a web and app, but I might have a question. Do you own the tech out of the?
Yeah, sure.
So you own the tech.
Yes.
Okay, and then you said that the market, the flow of this presentation was very well done. I think then you went into the how you make money and then the market target that you have. Very good that you start focusing on Europe first and the Italian market, your home country, make a lot of sense. And that, as you said, you are not reinventing the wheel. What you do in this specific industry has been done before. So then I go back to what Maria said. It's very good to paint the picture with example or stories that you have. So it gives even more power to what you are saying.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good pitch. Just maybe the time to be in the 10 minutes. Try to be in that time. But otherwise, was very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You can imagine that the time was going to be one of the comments. So obviously, we've got so many things to say, and I have to echo some of the things that have been said here. Mathieu, yes, you're absolutely right. A 10-minute pitch is very long, can be very long, but you are the master of your subject. Okay, so the whole point is for you to build a structure that is going to allow you to tell that story and not to be a mechanical, not a robot, right? Mm-hmm. And the whole point here is to build two pitches, right? So the pitch that you showed us was actually a pitch that you would end up sending because it's got everything in the pitch, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you're preparing your pitch, one of the tricks is to prepare it with everything as if you wanted to send it so that you weren't going to be there to actually deliver it, okay? Then you save that one, you make a copy, and then you take 99% of the words out of the pitch. Mm-hmm. what that does is that it's exactly the same pitch, the same layout, the same flow, but your audience is forced to listen to you. Okay. Now, I have to echo what Maria said. If you give us text to read and we're busy reading, we're not busy listening. Okay. And essentially, your slides are doing you a disfavor because you're showing me something, and if your mouth is not saying exactly what I'm reading, I'm not listening. My brain has to disconnect, right? You can't do two things at once. You can't do them well, okay? Anybody can sort of half listen and half read. That means I don't understand anything, right? Which is the worst case scenario. So remember to, obviously, don't learn off by heart. Never, ever, ever learn off by heart. And the other thing is you build your pitch in a way that you're going to be able to create a flow. Okay. Now, because we were talking about timing, one of the things that you ended up doing is saying, hello, my name is Pasquale, and today we're going to be talking about. And the issue is, and I always time this, that was 20 seconds of your pitch. 20 seconds that you were crucially missing at the end, right? Because you missed the call to action. You did say the ask, but you didn't tell us how you were going to use the funds. Use of funds is obviously something that's going to be very important. And so essentially you cannibalize the end by giving us useless information at the beginning. Okay. So jump straight into your story. Okay. And this echoes what we were saying earlier on. If you jump straight into a story, what you're then able to do is, and this is what Virginia was saying, is I can identify. Okay. Now, talking about the slides, and I have a feeling that we will have to spend a bit more time on this later on, but I am running out of time. On your slides, you want to separate everything out in the sense that if you're talking about the business case for the business owner, right, the laundromat owner, have a slide about the laundromat owner and do step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. Don't give us everything on the slide for us to figure out. And certainly not, this is my B2B customer and this is my B2C customer on the same slide, because you're giving us too much information.
Sure.
Slide 1, slide 2, separate them out. It doesn't matter if you've got 50 slides, click, 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 click. You're keeping it entertaining and you're building a flow.
Okay.
My time is up. I'm going to take everyone off the feed. Thank you so much for that pitch. Stay afterwards because I feel like we've got some more comments to give you. We will be back very shortly. Duk, duk. And our next guest is Mitch. Good evening, Mitch.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? Can you see my presentation?
Not yet. Right, so the same rules apply. I'm going to give you, now for context and so that everybody knows, and as a reminder, you are not raising funds. You're in the ideation phase. That's correct? Good.
Yes.
The same rule applies to you, even though you're in the ideation phase. What we will obviously give you feedback about the pitch. Remember that you have up to 10 minutes, and I will appear on the feed after 9 minutes. So when you see me, it's really time to start wrapping up. All clear?
Yeah, okay.
You can, very good. You can start as soon as I've left.
Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to present to you my business idea for a low-volume sports car manufacturer. Our vision is to manufacture driver-focused sports cars for people who love driving and want something unique and great value for money. Every car manufacturer has a core engineering principle that they use to develop and engineer vehicles. Will be no different. Ours is to produce lightweight sports cars that are always fun and engaging to drive with no compromise on quality and reliability of that product. The market we'll be competing in is the mid-sized premium sports car market, which consists of 3 main brands, the Porsche 911, Mercedes-AMG GT, and the Aston Martin Vantage. That price range in that market sits at 100,000 to 150,000. One of the biggest problems with the mid-size premium sports car market is there's nothing unique or exclusive. If you want an exclusive sports car nowadays, they tend to be overpriced and offer very little value for money. The solution our solution is the Longjulia L1. Be different with no compromise. The L1 is a mid-engine, mild hybrid sports car producing 560 horsepower using a 3-liter supercharged V6 with a curb weight of 1,325 kilograms. That lightweight is used thanks to a carbon fiber chassis, rear-wheel drive, 2-seater coupe with a dual-clutch gearbox. Our product strategy for the L1, as said previously, is to keep things exclusive. So we'll be producing 3,000 cars globally, 2,000 coupes, 1,000 coupes. All our cars will be sold directly to the consumer via online dealership with a very competitive starting price of £140,000. We're aiming for deliveries and production starting in 2028. In recent years, the luxury car market has grown quite a lot. There's been a very high demand, especially since after COVID, for people wanting more premium vehicles. Many more car manufacturers are moving into this space due to demand and the high profit margins that they offer. Our roadmap for 2024 to 2028. By the end of 2024, I'd like to finalize the vehicle's exterior and interior design. I'd like to work with an engineering partner for the carbon fiber chassis and powertrain. Dash CAE is a vehicle supplier who have developed a low volume carbon fiber monocoque for niche vehicle manufacturers looking to make affordable performance vehicles. I would like to work with them as I feel like they would be the right partner in developing the carbon chassis, which is very expensive to do for any startup. 2025, I would like to start building the first prototypes and begin phase 1 of testing. 2026 is when I would like to reveal the L1 concept to the public and start taking deposits for this model. And I'll also start phase 2 of testing, which would be crash testing and hot and cold weather conditions. 2027 to 2028 is the final stage of testing, and I would like to start production and deliveries through 2028. My pre-seed investment, I'm asking for £250,000. I'm seeking a chief engineer and experienced engineers to start the project. I also like to get a workspace and tooling for these engineers and developing engineering partnerships with different companies for main vehicle components. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you're going to have quite a lot more feedback time. Tuk, tuk, tuk. And our jury is back and live. And because I believe in the democracy, who would like to go first? Virginia, you unmuted yourself, so by default, that's it.
I'm in trouble.
Absolutely. Feedback.
Actually, I think I have a point which I'm sure everyone's going to build on. That call to action, get my attention type of thing. And it can be done in a quick, fast way. And I didn't feel that at the very beginning. So like, who are you? You can say, I am Mish. And have you ever sat in a car and felt the curves? The tires stuck to the ground. It can be quick, it can be fast, but it's that get my attention type of thing. And I'm here to present to you a new idea. Yeah, so you're creating. So I have an idea who you are. You've caught my attention, and I know exactly what you're going to be speaking about. So it can be quick, it can be fast, but it's but get me there, get me to say, okay, I'm interested to hear what you're talking about. I liked you had a structure. You were very clear on what your needs are and what your interest is. And when you're doing the presentation, again, think about breathing, along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can, because the goal of when you can breathe, that means you can then change the tonality. Yeah. You can show more passion. You can take away passion on how you're speaking. So when you have the air, it's easy. When you're speaking and you lose the tone, then it drops. Yeah. So then you're losing impact. Another question I do have is really, what is your differentiator? Yeah. I'm thinking luxury cars are interesting. So
Mitch, you'll answer later. Mitch, I know the temptation is to answer. Take all the feedback, write the question down, and don't worry, we will have time at the end. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a question that is out there. So I know why you're different than your competitors. Yeah. So it's nice to know who the different competitors are. But how can I have confidence in you because you have something different, if I can say.
Okay.
But so that's my feedback for the moment. So we're going to pass on to Maria.
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
For sure.
Maria, you have been selected apparently.
Yeah, it's good. Anyways, Mitch, congratulations. I think the way that you deliver the pitch, it was very good. I mean, your tone of voice, the way that you was delivering that, it was catchy for me. But I always wanted to listen the reasons why you decide to jump in this project. That probably really catch my attention in the way that what are the reasons to really come to the market and compete with such a big brand, look brands, and develop a product that really needs to have a why, a reasons to exist, a strong story behind in terms of branding and marketing. I think that will be building this differentiator that Virginia mentioned before. So my general comment will be, if you want to really validate your idea, the first things, it will be telling why did you decide to build this project and create this product. Basically, that is my feedback.
We're going to come back to that afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
Mathieu.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Mitch, for the presentation. It was in time, right? It was less than 5 minutes. So you are less than the 10. I really like the fact that you said that after COVID, there was a growing demand for luxury cars, which is very true. Actually, it's in crisis that there are new opportunities that arise. I was confused at the very end. You mentioned the pre-seed investment that you are looking for. I thought you were just in the idea phase and you were not looking for money yet. So that's something. There was no call to action. I didn't hear. Maybe I didn't understand. When did you start the project exactly? And the personal story. This is very impactful to give a message, because when you give a pitch, it's a sell at the end. You're selling an idea. You're giving your emotion to the audience, so they are excited and they want to get on board and join you in this journey. And I didn't feel that. So maybe we can discuss and get your feedback afterwards. So I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
We will definitely We will definitely come back to that afterwards. And of course, as I said to Mitch, write the questions down in the jury. If you've got specific points that you want to come back to afterwards, we'll have an open Q&A session afterwards. So we really do have a good solid 10 minutes for pitch. For feedback. So if any of the jury members want to ask additional questions and give additional feedback, please do feel free. In the meantime, and this is really where your pitch is going to gain a huge amount, because you're in the getting people excited phase, there needs to be an incredibly powerful story, right? Because you show us the titans up against whom you are against, right? So essentially you're going to have to work on that personal journey, because we don't know where you come from, as in from a background perspective. Is this coming out of a student? Maybe it's a student project that you're building. Maybe it's something that you've been building in your garage and you want to turn into a business. You know, we want to get a sense for where this came from, not forgetting that you're competing against, you know, some absolutely amazing brands, but that doesn't mean that you can't become one of them. But those, if you take a brand like Tesla, everybody, obviously, some people might not even know that Tesla was a scrappy little startup just before Musk came in and injected, quite literally, billions, right? And Tesla is what it is today thanks to that. But they were electric, okay? They weren't building a compressor-charged V6, which is going to be another part of, and we're here for the pitch, but this is maybe something for you to think about. Is V6, a V6 maybe the technology that you want to go towards, considering all of the effort that everybody is making from an environmental point of view, et cetera, point to be debated later on. There might be a very, very good reason for that. But naturally, you know, given the economic situation and the environment, that is going to be something that as an investor, I would definitely address, right? Yes, you're going against the grain of absolutely everything, which is fine. Supercars exist and sports cars exist, et cetera, and I know that I'm building a V6, and there's a very good reason for that, and here's my story. Because you're building a niche product for a niche market, which is fine. Tell us why. In terms of making us dream, you have got a visual, you know, one visual that you show us, and the rest of your slides are just writing and writing and writing. So I'm going to give you exactly the same feedback as the previous presentation, which is the more written content you put up on the screen, the more people are going to read, the less they're going to listen to you. Okay, so if this is the presentation that you're sending to potential partners, investors, et cetera, then obviously you're going to make it really, really detailed. And the one that you're going to be presenting in front of people, because you have got such a product that is so beautiful, by the way, beautiful car, if that is in fact the 3D render, every single slide needs to be about the dream, the absolutely amazing car that you have designed, interior, exterior. You can show like the details, because that's where the dream is going to come from. All right. So I do have more comments, but I want to open up to the jury. Just raise of hands if you have got something else to say, because otherwise I'm just going to carry on going. Yes, Maria.
I have something to add more than to say, and it's the way that you have been validating the market. Because one of the things when you are doing this product validation that you're doing right now is how you are doing the validation of the market too. So my question is, have you been doing validation? Is one question. And the other one, it will be if you have a special presentation for this market validation and a special presentation to collect the team to make this dream come into the reality.
Yeah. That's absolutely excellent feedback, because when you're in the ideation phase, what you want to demonstrate to partners and investors is, I have done all of the legwork to demonstrate that there is a market for this, and here are the numbers, right? In a really easy to digest way. Let's imagine that you have been to the best engineering school you've done an internship over at, I don't know, Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever, and that you're in that space, right? Because this comes back from market validation. I do believe, and this is purely intuitive, that there is a market for this kind of super select, tiny number of cars, because that's what the super, super, super rich want. And under the super rich, there are people that aspire to have that kind of lifestyle. And because you're competing in the 100 to 150,000 pound range, it's going to be a very specific demographic that's going to want that, and you're going to want to present your research as to this is the persona that we're going towards, right? To the point where you know what kind of underwear they buy, right? And of course I am joking, but you kind of get that idea that as an investor, what I want to see is that you are the absolute master of this domain. And it's not kind of, yeah, I think it's a nice idea. Of course, you might be the master of this domain, but you need to demonstrate it through some amazing research. So thank you very much for that contribution, Maria. Virginia, Mathieu? Mathieu.
Yeah. So I might add some suggestions. I mean, in a pitch, you need to be seen as an expert in your field. That's for sure. You have a few seconds to attract the attention of the audience. And that's why at the very beginning, it's very good to paint the picture with real examples, with your why, explain where you come from, your background, why you started this project. So there is this aha moment when they see the picture and they say, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So then the audience listen even more to what you are saying, and then they catch every word that you say. So it's part of the whole pitch flow. But they are very good coach for that, and this kind of event is great place to do that, to get feedback from people who pitch a lot, or who have experience, who have been part of raising companies and so on. So take any feedback you can from the audience, from professional, of course, people who have been where you are today, and try to learn everything you can, and always practice, and to deliver the message in a impactful way. So your words have the impact that you want them to have, like a sales process.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you very much for that contribution, Mathieu. Virginia?
Yeah, I actually have one, I think, very important point is that at the end of any type of presentation, pitch, talk, whatever it might be, you want to make an impact. Yeah. And because people are going to remember the end. So they say, tell you what you're going to talk about, tell them where you're going, go there and tell them where you've been, and give them a big boom. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Make me want to walk away and say, yeah, I want to talk to you. Yeah, type of energy that you want to generate. But it's interesting. I'm interested. You made me think about. I want to go try to get in one of those cars.
Be careful, Virginia. Be very careful. You're going to end up spending £150,000. Of course. I mean, of course, that means that Mitch is going to be a very happy camper. So
exactly.
two last pieces of feedback. On your slides, because now you have understood that we need to make them very visual. Okay. So when you've got a complex slide, like a roadmap, for example, you did actually spend time giving it to us in step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Cut that up into 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028. And you only show your audience 2024. And this is what I'm going to talk about. And this is what you're going to look at. Click. And then you move on to 2025, 2026, etc., etc. If you need to build that roadmap, if you need to build a complex slide that has got a lot of information, take us through it step by step. Click, click, click. And even if you're using PDF or you're on Canva or anything, you can build your slide so all you need, it's not an animation, it's just an extra click. Right. So we will have some extra feedback for you later on. I appreciate it's a bit frustrating. You can't answer everyone, but this is intentional. Yeah. We create engagement. We will carry on talking afterwards. I'm going to take everyone off the feed, and we're going to have our third startup of the evening. Tack, tack, tack. And our last, but certainly not least, Julien, you're going to have to share your camera. And
hello. The thing is, I don't have a camera.
You don't have a camera in 2023, dear oh dear.
No, I didn't put it on my computer. Other thing,
It's
there's
okay.
one missing on my group.
No worries. But do you have the presentation?
I need to download very fast for a moment because
You're
normally
going
the other people had it.
naturally, and this is the great thing about doing things absolutely live.
Yeah.
So as you saw from the previous startups, we share the screen, and so I'm going to I'm going to share your screen. So we are, as soon as you have got it, we're going to be able to share your screen, and I'm just going to take you off the feed. And I will see when you have started sharing your screen. Good. So you will all have understood that this is definitely live, and we always have to improvise just a tiny, tiny bit. So Julien, as soon as you have shared it, we're going to be able to share your screen. So this is for the audience, and whilst Julien is looking for his presentation, I think you will have all understood that one of the most important parts in any presentation is actually going to be the beginning and the end, right? At the beginning, as Virginia was saying, you absolutely need to make your audience dream. You need to get us in a space where you're going to be really wanting to pay attention, because the reality is that your audience has got a very short attention span. Now, that attention span is perfectly normal, because not that long ago, we were actually some predator's lunch. And so we're having to pay attention, and our brains are still wired to pay attention to the things that are going on around. That's why it's so hard for us to focus on one task at a time. So it's your duty as someone speaking in public, someone who is giving a pitch, it's your job to keep it super interesting. And I'd like to pick up on something that Mathieu said earlier on, which is build the aha moments. Those aha moments are moments of realization, moments where your audience is going to feel super engaged with what it is that you're currently saying. So, and before I let Paul back onto the stream, and some of you will have seen that it was Julien before, but we have Paul that has joined us. Paul, you're going to need to share your screen, and as soon as you have shared your screen, I'll be able to bring you back and you'll be able to give your pitch and presentation. So whilst you're doing that, the other important part is always going to be your call to action, your conclusion, because as Virginia said, people are going to remember that last part. Maria has famously said in the past, people don't forget what you say, they remember how you made them feel. And that is so true, because at the end of a pitch, if you have given a clear call to action, this is what I need, this is what I need from my audience. You might not be raising funds, but you might need your audience to do something, right? Whether that is engage with you in some way, shape, or form, whether that is for people to contact you, give them a way to contact you. Now, one simple trick is for you to actually put a QR code, a nice big QR code on your last slide. That might sound counterintuitive, but guess what most people have got next to their laptop whilst they're looking at the computer, or even if they're in front of a live audience. If you want them to do something, make it super easy for them to do it. What you can do is use a QR code so that people in the audience can snap either a picture or scan your QR code directly. That means that they will go to your website, or they will go to your social media, or they will go to your data room. If, for example, you've got a data room up on Google Docs. Right, guys. Paul.
Yes, I'm just connecting my computer because their YouTube blocks my connection. So I'm actually in with my tablet, but...
Do you have a presentation to share with us? Yes,
no.
you do. Wonderful. Fantastic. And for those of you who are joining in the middle of the broadcast, in the middle of the show, you will have understood that this is live. We do as much as possible to test these things, but when you're live, these things happen. Right, so Paul, when you are ready to share your screen, you'll manage one of these fine days. We've got a very patient audience. Also, we've still got 35 minutes. So, in terms of pitching and presenting, one of the other things that is going to be super important, and this was mentioned as well, Mathieu mentioned this earlier on, is practice, practice, practice. Now, one of the tricks for that is that you can put small meetings, half an hour or an hour, in your agenda. Let's imagine that you've got a pitch that you're going to be giving in a week or two, right? So what you do is you put that, let's say, for example, what are we today? The 27th of June. You could say, okay, I've got a pitch on the 15th of July, let's say. That means you've got a solid 2 weeks to prepare for your pitch. Instead of waiting until the 14th to say, maybe I should prepare some slides and maybe I should rehearse my pitch. Well, actually, what you end up doing is you cut it up into bite-sized pieces. So you give yourself a deadline, okay, a week before I need to have finished this part, and 5 days before I need to have finished that part, and 3 days before I need to be absolutely set. You set yourself that as a deadline in your calendar, and then you work backwards and you put small increments of half an hour or an hour into your calendar. And that means that by the time you actually get to your pitch, you're going to be super zen. You're not going to be stressed whatsoever. Now, as you can probably tell, Paul and Julien have needed to put this on their calendar. And at some point, we needed to be prepared. Guys, are we going to manage? If not, we're going to have to come back to our other startups and you will have to pitch at some other point. I look at you over the brim of my glasses. Gents, are we managing? That sounds like tap, tap, tap. Okay, so I think we'll have to do the Q&A. We're going to move
Philip,
over.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yikes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And now? Okay.
Yes.
How can I
Okay.
share my...
How can you share your screen indeed? Julien or Paul? This is what happens when you go live. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to make the executive decision. We're going to move straight on to the Q&A. So I will bring my fellow jury members and startups back. This is what happens in a live event. C'est la vie, as they say in French. We need to be agile and adaptable. And so, Paul, Julien, we will have to have you on at another stage. So, we were talking about questions and answers, Q&A. Now, Pasquale or Mitch, who has a question for our jury members?
So one of the questions I was asked about why a V6 and, is going against the grain in regards to what the industry is doing.
Absolutely.
There's a reason for that. So low volume car manufacturers do not have to abide to the same European laws that are coming in 2035. If you're manufacturing less than 1,000 cars a year, you can still use a hybrid, which is the car was a mild hybrid, which has electric motor but can't run electricity. You could still use a V6, a combustion engine, as long as you're selling less than 1,000 cars a year across Europe, or if you are selling more than 1,000 cars a year, you could use e-fuels for your combustion engine. One of the reasons why I would not do an electric sports car is because the market doesn't want it. There's still customers who do not want an electric sports car. It misses out the crucial component that makes a sports car, which is emotion. A battery electric vehicle manufacturers have yet to find a way to deliver emotion for an electric vehicle. It doesn't give you the same experience with an engine and a gearbox attached to that vehicle. And the development costs behind it as well. You cannot sell an electric sports car for £140,000. Almost impossible. Not unless if you're owned by a big manufacturer where you could share parts.
Or sell at a loss and not care. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
Loss, so,
but you can see how that needs to be part of your pitch, right?
I had it all in my pitch, and I got told by someone that it's too much, and I had it. So most of the things that was told, I had it included in the pitch, and I was told that it's too much, and it will take way more than 10 minutes to explain, and it'll go on forever. So I took it off. I took it off last week.
Okay, I'll come back to, let's say, quote unquote, schools of thought afterwards, because I'll come back to that in just a second, because it looked like Virginia had something to say there.
Yeah, I think what is so important is, yes, you can have a lot of information within your pitch, within your presentation, but it's about you to eliminate the right pieces or add the right pieces at the right time. And the concept of dummying down to a point where you're explaining it to somebody, to a child, maybe that's a good way of saying it. And that's an incredible skill. It's bottom lining. Yeah. So it's about giving the key information that the people need. So it's the right information at the right time. So if someone says, "Oh, that's too much," maybe it is too much, but then just simplify it. Yeah. And create clarity around it. And then you're able to keep it into the presentation instead of removing a key aspect. And I mean, my biggest question still is, what is your differentiator for that car? Because I watch Top Gear and I like to watch all those, fancy, really interesting cars. And I don't, why would I want one of those? Why would I want yours and not that and the other ones?
So one of the big things about sports cars is exclusive. People like an exclusive sports car product. They also like a sports car product that offers great price to performance. 560 horsepower, like I mentioned, for the vehicle at £140,000, compared to everything else in that market between 100,000 to 150,000, is superior to. So performance and exclusivity are big sellers for people who are looking to buy sports cars. If bigger brands have gotten away for a long time in overpricing their vehicles, and they can do that because they know there's going to be no new player that's going to come in the market. So that every generation of new 911, a new Aston Martin Vantage, or new Mercedes-AMG GT are overpriced, and it's done purposely because of the little competition in that market segment. And it's not just them that do it. Other established brands that sell sports cars at a higher price range do the same thing. It's the habit in the industry. No new players are going to come in to give us really a competition, so we can overprice our vehicles. We're no longer going to make them that exclusive, and we can give you we can sell you anything because we know customers will pay.
Yeah. We will come back to that because we're going to give space to Pasquale. Just don't forget about the traction that brands themselves can have. You'll find that people buy certain brands because they identify with those brands, and that's something that we'll be able to come back to afterwards. We'll give some space now to Pasquale, and then we'll come back to that. And maybe Maria will be able to tell us a tiny bit more about the traction that well-known brands have Pasquale.
Yeah, to me was, all feedback were clear. Just wanted to ask which one of these slides, and on whole flow of my pitch, which was the part which was more, let's say, difficult, complicated to follow, or full of lots of information which distracted you? Just to understand and correct what I missed.
Before I jump in, would my fellow jury members like to answer? Matthew,
Well, I
you
was
unmuted your-
okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Maria. Go ahead, please.
ladies first. Ladies first.
Thank you. No, Pasquale, the thing is, I was one that mentioned that your sites probably have a lot of content and difficult really to follow the two things at the same time. But one of the most that confused me, it was probably the one that have the screenshots about your application and your website. Because in order to see that, actually is not closer enough for me to identify how I'm going to see that in the action as product.
Yeah, sure.
So probably that's what will be something to do a zoom in order to show something key, something that the people will identify, probably next to the logo, for example, in terms of branding and brand awareness. That way the people identify, do you know what? I saw this somewhere, or I wanted to really invest in this brand that is aligning with the colors, with the image, and with the value that they want to offer. So I will be more focused in do the zoom in the things that are key, like the website or the app, and of course the functionalities that you are offering with that, but in one slide. I mean, if you want to show the website, showing that in one slide. And if you want to show the app, show that in a different slide, as Philip was suggesting.
Thank you.
Indeed.
You're welcome.
So, and thank you very much for that feedback and that question. Essentially, Pasquale, one of the things that you're going to want to do with every single one of your slides is remove 99.9% of the words, okay? And take the ideas, and any idea that is one idea, two ideas, if you can put them on two different slides, if they have to be on the same slides, fine, but go step one, step two. And it was the same feedback to Mitch earlier on. But when you can say, okay, this is my business customer, and then next slide, this is my end customer or user, then that's also going to help the audience understand. Now, I'm pleased to say that Paul seems to have managed, and I'm a great believer in sometimes in second chances. So we're all going to cross fingers. No pressure, Paul. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll just come back to the Q&A session. All right. So have your questions prepared later on. And for those of you who can and want to stay a tiny bit longer, exceptionally, we'll be able to stay a bit afterwards. So, Paul, my man, my friend, are you ready?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And it's fantastic. There's no echo. Look at that.
Yes,
Well, we can't see you. That's very, very sad, but we understood that apparently there's no camera. So I'm going to share your slides. Come back to maybe the starting page instead of on slide 8. There we go.
There's a problem with the camera, so I guess it's better my microphone is on top.
Your microphone is working. Microphone is working because I'm not great at lip reading. Some of the audience might be. That's right. So I'm just going to reiterate the rules so that everyone is clear. You're going to have up to 10 minutes to pitch, and then 20 minutes in total, with the rest being feedback. Of course, if you take 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to take myself off the feed. You're going to present. We are going to be listening to you. We'll give you feedback afterwards. And the timer starts.
Can you just add Julian, because Julian made the first part and me the second part.
Yes.
Julian is going to be pitching as well. Naturally. Okay, so you heard the rules. I'm going to take myself off the feed, and The timer will start when you start pitching. Okay.
hmm
3, 2, 1.
The farmer Bob owns a ranch and has installed 600 solar panels on his roof. Over the years, he noticed a decrease in energy production and a loss of money from his solar panels. He realized that the panels were becoming dirty over time, leading to a 20% drop efficiency and therefore a loss of 40,000 euros per year. Currently, his only solution is to hire a professional cleaner who climbs up to the roof with the necessary security measures. This cleaning service cost him a minimum of 8,000 euros per year in order to improve the efficiency. However, Bob is hesitant to invest in regular cleaning every year. Our solution: an autonomous model that can be directly mounted into the solar panels. This model utilizes rotary brushes to perform the cleaning process without border. It is designed to connect horizontally to multiple solar panels and move across them during the cleaning operation. Our system is equipped with advanced features that allow it to clean even during rainy weather conditions. This is made possible through a central processing unit that collects data from local sensor and online weather stations. In addition to our autonomous cleaning system, we offer a client user-friendly dashboard that can be easily installed in their home. This dashboard provides complete control over the model and allows clients to manually initiate the cleaning process if needed. It also displays essential data about the model's performance. By investing 64,000 in our solution, Bob will be able to maintain high performance from his solar panels without incurring significant additional costs every year.
How we will launch our product. We will initially launch our product in Luxembourg and subsequently expand to south of Europe. In Luxembourg, solar systems account for 19% of renewable energy, while solar panels contribute to 5% to Europeans' total energy output in 2021, reaching 28 gigawatt. The EU has set a target of achieving 320 gigawatt of solar photovoltaic production by 2025, representing a remarkable increase of 1,000%. To accomplish our objectives, we will offer our product through white labeling to companies. They will have the option to sell our cleaning module separately or integrated with solar panels during installation. Our goal is to have our product installed on 5 to 10% of European solar systems within the first 3 years. The business model ensures revenue not only from initial sales, but also from upgrades and visualizations from the software later. We would love to carry on exploring this adventure, and for that, we need your help. We would love you to introduce us to your contact who works in the industry and to investors. Thanks for your attention.
Did I forget to mention that you've got 10 minutes?
The problem is we have for the final only 4 minutes, and that's the reason why we have our pitch also prepared for 4 minutes roundabout.
Unless there was a warp in the space-time continuum, you're missing 1 minute of pitch. That was 3 minutes. So we're going to have to practice, and we're going to bring our jury back in. Gentlemen, so that was actually 3 minutes. 3 minutes for a 4-minute pitch. It's quite normal that you're missing quite a lot of information there.
The problem is the presentation is not adapted for this website because, as you can see here, the videos aren't loaded and also some other slides are not delayed, but whether you heard the content than nothing, so
that is very true. I will come back to that afterwards. So, for the last round of feedback, for the last startup, who would like to go first? Mathieu?
I can start this time, yes. Last one is mine. So thank you for this presentation. I would say the first thing is you should have been ready when it was your turn to pitch. Then make sure to have a video. Next time, if you can, that's very important, and it's crucial because in any startup, we like to see the people as well. You know, it's like the trust triangle with the C factor: smile, eye contact, enthusiasm. When you speak, when you smile, they like you. When you look in the eye, they trust you. when you're enthusiast, they see the value in your product. So this is a pure sell, but I think it can adapt in this situation as well. Then we didn't hear the why you made it, okay, but your background, we didn't see the whole team, I guess. And yeah, if you prepared for the final, I heard about the final for 4 minutes, but you should try to make it a bit longer, so you take as much as you can out of this 10-minute pitch, so you can have great feedback from skilled investor or professionals. And I think it would be very valuable to take everything you can out of it. But that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Virginia?
Yeah, I think my biggest advice is prepare to fail, especially if you're dealing with any kind of technology. I've been delivering trainings across the world since early 2000, so we're talking a long time, and always believe that that something can break down. Yeah. Also, when it comes to your mics, make sure you have quality mics if you're going to be doing any type of pitching at all, virtually, yeah, online. Incredibly, which means practice. We can hear you're practicing, but also sounds a bit like you're reading a little bit. So, but I don't know if you are or not, because I can't see it, which is okay. There's something very important for you to be aware of, is that the impact of your tone of voice versus your words. It's like 75% tone versus the actual words that you're saying. So it's so important that like, if we can't see you, it's perfectly fine, but how you play with your tonality and your breathing, and especially if you're pitching in English, how can you make sure that when you're doing your pitch, that we can hear what you're saying, and we can hear and you can articulate, so we get the key points. It's because I can hear you're Luxembourgish, correct? But you don't have to say correct, which means I'm fully aware you probably can speak 5 languages or 6 languages.
Exactly.
Yeah. So also play to the delivery style of the language you're going to be delivering, because if you're going to be speaking in French, it's going to be a different impact versus if you're going to be delivering in English or in Luxembourgish or in German or in Italian or whatever language you're speaking. So yeah, and I totally agree with Matthew. It's like, get your whole pitch. If you have 10 minutes, try out different things, and then you can always eliminate the pieces that maybe are not as impacting. Because I didn't get it. The 4 minutes, I'm a little bit confused, and you don't want me to be confused, because it looks like it's an incredible product. Okay, so but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Maria? And thank you. And thank you, not but.
Well, Paul and Julian, thank you very much for your pitch. I'm so happy that you delivered this pitch in a safe space where you can really live these moments. I mean, deal with the technical problems, dealing with the sounds problems, dealing with many things is the time to practice. And I think that Philip have been creating this space especially for that. So I'm happy that that's happening here and not in front of investors, for example, because they have one time to really impact. So you don't have any other opportunities. So you will be really lose a very important opportunity. Second, I think that you have an amazing product, but you don't, until now, I didn't get the benefits of that product. So I don't know if you already have a clear who your audience is. Who are you making pitching? Who are you making wanted to take the attention? What are the messages that you want to put across? So all these kind of things when you are building a pitch is very important to keep in mind, because actually if you are just delivering content but even it's not connecting with the moment that you are moving the slides, because I saw as a part of these problems is you have been passing to the next slide, even not finish the information for the slide that you was already talking. And just last input is in terms of graphical stuff, try to don't put it too many pictures in only one slide and actually text on the top of those pictures, because at the end is a wrong message. We don't know really what you talk about. It's not connecting directly with what you are saying. So always remember that we need to bring our audiences to understand step by step each of the topics that we are talking about. So if you can really align these two concepts, photography, text with the things that you are saying, that will be really give this cadence into the pitch that will make the people engage. So yeah.
Some very good feedback. Thank you very much, all three of you. And exactly like with Mitch earlier on, we've actually got a bit more time. So in terms of the feedback, you right at the beginning, you put that slide up with a cost of 80,000. A cost of 8,000 euros per year for the cleaning, and there's written 80,000 on that first slide. Now, one thing that was very positive, and so the message behind that is be careful of the typo, or if that's not a typo, be careful that what you're saying needs to match with what's actually on the slide. Also, if at all possible, make all of those numbers appear one by one by one by one, so that you're keeping the control of your audience's attention, and that's super important. Now, in terms of the actual delivery, and thank you so much, Maria, because you're very, very right. Of course, what we're saying here is you need to practice and you need to time yourself. You need to make the most of this opportunity. But right here, right now, this is the time that you can see the kinds of limitations that you actually have in terms of the technology. Had I known that you had videos, I wouldn't have been looking at the slide thinking, what's that music thing? What's that doing? That's a total
a video
distraction.
actually, but I guess
Indeed, yeah, indeed.
That's the reason I mentioned. I don't know why, but for example, here the videos don't work.
And this is the thing, right? On any pitch, as Virginia said, you need to quote unquote prepare to fail, in the sense that you need to eliminate every single opportunity that you might have for it to fail. This is why if there are any quote unquote animations, I always strongly recommend that you go to the simplest possible presentation and eliminate any kind of risk that something might go wrong, right? Because as soon as you start looking for ways of, okay, I'm going to put this animation here and I'm going to put a video there and a sound here, you're adding complexity that you simply don't need, because what you're looking to do is actually build a narrative that your audience is going to be able to engage with. Okay. Now, in terms of a narrative, because you're solving the issue of solar panel cleaning, and it's good because you've got some very visual aspects, and telling us very clearly that you're solving a problem for a very, very specific audience, and what the opportunity is going to be, right, for the audience, and it only addresses them. So keep coming back to the problem that you're solving for them, right? Because on the one hand, there's the consumer, so the person that actually has solar panels, but at one point you told us there's white labeling. So that means that you're also providing a solution for another persona, and you want to make that very, very clear in your narrative, right? We're solving a problem for this population, and then we're solving a problem for that population, and that is going to be super, super important. Okay.
Can we just try another thing with presentation later on? Because I guess I also can share my screen and then you can see maybe the videos. But I'm not
We
sure.
will have to do that at some other point. Unfortunately, because all of those technical issues took up so much time. I also want to be cognizant and respectful of everybody's time. And one thing that I would quite like, and I'm going to bring our fellow startups back to the table as well. So we're going to have Pasquale and Mitch, because in previous sessions, what I've been told is that startups would like to hear feedback from each other, right? And I'm simply opening up the opportunity for Pasquale and Mitch to maybe give some feedback to the guys. Do you have anything, Pasquale and Mitch, that you would like to share before we open up the Q&A?
It was not clear to me the cost structure of the project, because you talked about the revenues, talked about the price, but I was kind of wondering how much does it cost to produce such a car?
Very good. And because this is Q&A, now Paul and Julian, if you've got a very short answer for that, now you can feel free to ask any questions or to provide feedback as well. Paul and Julian as well, if you've got any questions about the feedback that you have received, please do feel free.
I have now the slide opened, but I guess you can see it. We have a slide into our presentation with the costs, how much would cost our system and how much would it cost to have a professional cleaner for every year. And there you see that our product will cost one time, depends on the system, for the Farmer Bob. Yes, exactly here. Here we see the 60,000 euros for the system for Bob. And here the cost for professional cleaner for every year. And here you can see after 9 years, the system costs are equal. But for the 10th year, you have to pay more. And we calculated with 25 years because the lifespan of the solar panels are for the moment 25 years. So you have to pay roundabout above 100,000 euros more for professional cleaner than for our system.
Okay, we need to be careful because that slide makes it look like we have to pay 60,000 euros a year. It's maybe a bit confusing. We'll have to come back to that one. We won't go in slide by slide, but that's definitely going to be something for another session. So, in the last 3 minutes, who would like to provide some questions or maybe feedback to any of the others and open up the floor a bit?
I was might to mention about, I think Maria mentioned about branding in the automotive industry. You're right. Branding is very important, and for a new manufacturer to come in, is also very difficult to sell. But in the car world, branding works a bit differently. Unfortunately, you can't really sell cars off your brand. If that was the case, Aston Martin as a company would be more profitable. They don't sell cars very well. The brand is very popular. Most people know the brand, but the cars that they're trying to sell do not sell. And it's one of the reasons why is not as good as the competition, and many people believe they're overpriced for what they're selling. So yeah, many times car startups have shown if you're willing to offer someone a great product, they will buy. While branding does go a long way in the automotive industry, people don't have such brand loyalty like that. They want something that's great, and if they're going to pay a lot of money for it, they'll go to that.
Yeah, I'm going to humbly disagree with you on that one. Just for context, I come from the automotive industry from a past life, and we need to be very, very careful. And now I'm generalizing here. We need to be very careful when we make claims that what we believe doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. And having worked in the automotive industry, I can tell you that in quite a few cases, people choose a BM because it's BM and because they've always had BM throughout the family. Same for Mercedes, etc., etc. So I would be very, very careful. I would be very, very careful about generalizations, and that's not obviously not just for pitching. Now, the reason why we mentioned branding in the first place, if I may, is that your brand needs to represent something. It needs to be addressing and catering a very specific market, because people who like Ferrari or who like Aston Martin, just to compare both, Aston Martin, you're talking British, you're talking, somebody who can afford a Ferrari or somebody who can afford an Aston Martin. Why do they go for one or the other? I can guarantee that there's an attachment to the brand, but also you want to build a brand narrative that is going to be so deeply ingrained into something that your target customer really, really wants. Yeah, and that they can identify with, and they feel an emotional connection to that car. Quality is great, but in order for people to experience that quality, you're going to have to get, bums in seats. And in order to do that, you're going to need to get investment so that you can build your first car, right? And so that's why your brand narrative needs to be so incredibly powerful at the pitching stage, right here, right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So with that being said, I do appreciate that we have come to time. I would like to thank every one of you. And what we're going to do is go round, and I would like first and foremost for the startups, where can everybody find out more about you? And this is the opportunity for you to give maybe social media and a website. So starting with Paul and Julian, whereabouts can people find you?
We have a website, so maybe we can later on share the website with you, because I guess with spelling it's hard to remember. But we have one page with our website, our social media accounts, so LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So
Very
maybe
good.
we can send you the page, and then you have our social media accounts in our website.
We will share those in a post online later on, if that is good for you. So thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you both for joining. I'm going to take you off the feed, and we're going to go one by one. Thank you once again. Mitch, where can people find out more about you and your project?
Oh, well, mostly on LinkedIn. Although I do not post anything about my project on LinkedIn. It's just, if you want to find out more stuff about me, it's mainly on LinkedIn, yes.
Very good. And because you haven't spelt your name out.
Yeah, I
we
forgot
will.
to write my name in.
It's okay. Lesson learned for next time. Next time you are definitely going to do that as well. Thank you very much for joining.
Thanks very much, everyone.
You're very welcome. Pasquale, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, you can find my wash at mywash.com. I'm chatting here, or on our Facebook page, which is this one. It's Facebook. Okay, My Wash app on Facebook.
Very good.
Website
My Wash
is
app on
mywash.com.
Facebook. Excellent.
Or LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And people can connect with you on LinkedIn as well then.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that. And best of luck for the fundraising as well. To my fellow jury members, thank you so much for taking the time. I do appreciate that these events can sometimes be a bit chaotic, but we do get there in the end, don't we? So we're going to go in order. Maria, where can people find out more about you and what you do?
For the moment on LinkedIn, they can find me as Maria Lucia Romero, and they can follow my podcast that I announced at the beginning. It's the Brilliantly Branded Podcast. So they can find me on Spotify, YouTube Podcast, or even on Instagram with the link directly to the different platforms that you can find.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much. What about you, Virginia?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. And my suggestion, because my last name is Anderson and there's a lot of them, is Virginia Anderson, and then put Luxembourg, because I am, with my accent, I am in Luxembourg at the moment. And also, my company is named Matrix Consulting. So you can find me at matrix.lu. And I'm Virginia Anderson, like the movie. So I'm Mrs. Anderson from Matrix.
A very easy way to remember you. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Monsieur Mathieu.
Yes, so you can connect with me via LinkedIn. My name is Mathieu Gress, and if you want, you can also find my website, machineryscanner.com. And if you want to meet in person, I'm in Luxembourg as well. So
Absolutely perfect. Once again, thank you so much for taking your valuable time,
Thank
and
you.
very much appreciated all of your feedback this evening. And 1, and 2, and 3. And that brings us to a close. To all of those of you who have stayed all the way until the end, well done. You're part of the brave few, even though we had a couple of glitches. C'est la vie. So, this brings us to the close of our 6th Test My Pitch. We're going to have another one, yes, in July and August. We are a brave few who are going to be online and active. So for those of you who might be interested in pitching and practicing your pitch in the next episode of Test My Pitch, you will be able to join us. Obviously, find us on LinkedIn without any surprise, Test My Pitch. You'll also find me, Philip Grother. You can contact me directly. We will be posting about the next event, and also there is a link to the type form that you can subscribe to. With that, I wish you a very good evening, and thank you once again for joining. My last call to action to you is always going to be practice, 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 and take every single opportunity to pitch. Once again, thank you for joining.